We're back with another episode. Ladies and gentlemen, pimps and players.
Pimps and players.
Do you know what song that's from? Half-ass rappers and true rhyme sayers. This is the Carter. No? Welcome back.
Welcome back, y'all.
To what I assume is your favorite podcast.
It better be.
The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. I'm Alyssa Fowler.
I am Monica Fleming.
And we're here. We're back. How you doing? How's your week?
My week was strangely busy and tiring. I won't get into details too much, but I've been doing okay. Does anybody else out there like either sleepwalk or like talk in their sleep or anything like that?
Who sleepwalks? No, I don't sleepwalk.
Well, do you sleep talk? Do you talk in your sleep at all?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Nobody has ever told you that you talk in your sleep?
No, so surely someone would have told me, right?
Yeah.
I do the thing where sometimes when you're falling deep into sleep and you make a noise that wakes you up. That's the only thing I think that I do.
Okay, well, I talk in my sleep, and I've been talking in my sleep for a very long time, like probably...
Like prophetically or...
No, just like full-fledged conversations with whoever
scary,
I'm in a dream. I know. So it used to start off like, I would say one or two phrases, and now it's like full-on sentences. And like I used to breathe hard in my sleep, like depending on if I was really, really tired.
So like full serial killer.
No, not a serial killer,
like
but I do talk in my
shit.
Okay, no. So this week, because there's a new venture that I'm doing. I've just been extra tired because I'm having to get up earlier, and then I'm still going to bed at like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm not sleepy. So I've been talking in my sleep a lot more, but it's almost like a sleep paralysis type of thing because I'm literally having full-fledged dialogue with people in my dreams. But the problem is that... Is that your phone?
Yeah, I'll leave it.
But the problem is that I have to finish out the conversation. So it's like I hear myself saying stuff and it's intelligible. The problem is I can't wake up to shut it up and to stop.
That's really scary.
Why?
Sleep paralysis freaks me out.
I mean, I'm moving, but I just can't stop the conversation until I wake up because I'm not awake yet. But I know that I'm not awake.
I don't think that's right.
I mean, that's just what's been happening. It's been happening consistently this whole...
Should you talk to someone about that? Should we sage you or the house?
Maybe I should do... Oh, my boobs. Maybe I should do a sleep study.
Yeah. With an exorcist or something. Not an exorcist. Maybe just like a spiritual guide. Here.
I mean, I talk in my sleep regularly.
Maybe you're just, I don't know. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's your sleep hygiene. Yeah, you just can't wake it up.
I have poor sleep hygiene right now.
We need to get your sleep hygiene in check.
Yeah.
I think that'll really help you.
Definitely.
But that freaks me out. I've only had a couple friends tell me that they've had sleep paralysis before where like they're awake but they can't wake their body up. Ugh.
I've only ever had sleep paralysis once like that. And that was at my grandma's house. And I was laying on the couch. And I was it almost was like a scene out of Kill Bill where she was just like, move your toe. And I couldn't move. And then finally I just like jerked my body and I was able to move.
That was like some years ago. Sleep.
No, it was scary.
You know what that sounds like? You know when people start wearing their CPAP for real for the first week?
Yeah.
And they start getting that good sleep?
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like.
True. Well, yeah, no, this was a little bit different, but yeah, I was having full-fledged conversations. The only thing is I can't remember the conversations that I was having with people, but at the time, like I said, it was an intelligible conversation.
You should go Paranormal Activity and
start a demon,
but just record yourself so we know what you're talking about. What if you've solved world hunger?
I don't think we ever will because there's no money.
Well, how would you know unless you record yourself?
There's no money in world hunger.
I'm just saying.
And if I cure cancer, they'd try to kill me. The government, allegedly.
What if you had foiled some government plan?
Okay, anything involving the government, they try to kill me.
What if you just had the lot, it was random numbers and they happen to be winning?
Well, the lottery, I'll do that, yeah.
Okay, well, we got to record you.
Okay, well, I guess so.
And then we can watch you sleep.
No, you can't watch me sleep. That's weird. That's a bit weird. How was your week, though?
It was a week. A lot happened. A lot.
Please do tell.
My biggest joke in my career has always been that I don't need to know CPR because we work in a hospital and every code I've ever been in, I'm the first one to Homer Simpson out of there, just dissolve into the bush.
I love how your words keep coming back to slap you in the
100%.
face. I absolutely love this.
It's almost like God's trying to tell me something.
God is trying to tell you something.
I'm the biggest not listener, but I had to do CPR this week.
Ooh.
It was awful.
Why?
I don't wish that on anyone.
Was that your first time ever doing CPR in a hospital?
Yes. On a real living-ish person, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not good with...
Well, welcome. Congratulations.
My body doesn't like adrenaline like that.
That's the best kind of adrenaline. That's why I love working in the ICU, because you never know when you'll have to do chest compressions.
You could have called me Merideth Grey. That's what I thought was happening.
Ooh, look at you. Did you straddle them, or you were just on the side?
I was on the side.
Okay,
my scrubs were too tight to straddle.
Okay.
Also hit a peg and some weird abdominal shit. So,
yeah. Well, you shouldn't be anywhere near there. You should be at the sternum.
Well, if I straddled him, I'd be on top of him.
He doesn't need a peg.
He would have liked it.
They can put it back.
Can you imagine waking up, like, because I don't know, if you go calmly in the night, or if you don't know say you have a heart attack, right, while you're sleeping?
God forbid.
I'm not praying that on anybody. But you come to with someone on top of you just fucking barreling on your chest.
Yeah.
What a crazy...
It's just like people who wake up during anesthesia, like in surgery.
Yo, one of my top 10 truly biggest fears.
Seriously.
Waking up during a procedure.
This is why, if you're a natural redhead, tell your doctors, please.
Please.
Because they need to give you more anesthesia than most people.
What the hell? Can you imagine? Awful.
No, I don't want to treatment. So why did you have to do CPR on a person? Where were the nurses? Please give us a backstory of that.
It's a long story. Well, it's a rehab corner story. We don't have to do it here.
No, I want to do it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we don't have anything else in rehab corner.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you're all here. Let me paint the picture for you. It's 7
o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top.
All right, it's like a smooth 7:30. Well,
okay.
I'm not gonna pretend and say I was at work at 7 a.m.
Okay.
I'm at work. I'm trying to set up and see my patients for the day. Mm-hmm. I hear the code blue alarm, which sounds the same wherever you are.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, not here in this place where we are. Ain't no way, ain't no how. Look down the hall. Sure do see that blue light going off. And I'm like, God damn.
Oh, goodness.
As a therapist, I don't know. I'm never one who's like, my time to shine.
Yeah.
First responder. Absolutely not.
No.
I'm like, does anyone need me to get someone else?
I can get towels.
Towels. I'm a good towel girl. I even unplugged the crash cart.
Yeah.
Shot it down that way. I thought I was doing good. Just by the goodness of my own heart. It wasn't even me. It's just Jesus at this point, speaking through me. He was like, girl, run down there and make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
Big mistake. Shouldn't have fucking done it.
Oh, Jesus.
I run down there. I'm like, hey, you guys good? No, because there's one nurse in there.
Ooh.
And she's been doing compressions probably for like 4 minutes at this point. Which, in compression time, that's a long...
That's an hour.
You're tired. And
yeah, seriously.
So she's like, I need someone to relieve me. I look around. There's 2 other people in the room. It's me, healthy, full-bodied young American female, right? And this other physical therapist who, I swear to God, at this point is currently 3 centimeters dilated, a full 8.75 months pregnant, about to go into labor.
She can't do it.
and even still, knowing this information, I looked at her like, "Girl, you gonna hop in, or like, hey, like, far be it from me to say no, say no to you." Like, wow. So I'm like, well, shit, I guess it's my time. Popped on my gloves. Thank God my CPR was up to date.
Yeah.
Just went to Pound Town.
Jesus.
I hit the fucking, not Night Fever. Boogie Oogie. What song is it? What song do you sing when you're pumping on the chest? Staying Alive. Staying Alive. And Flowers, I heard, is 120 beats.
Flowers?
Miley Cyrus.
What song is that?
I can buy myself flowers.
No, I like Staying Alive.
Yeah, so anyway.
The Bee Gees.
I did a smooth 3 rounds before I was out. That shit is tiring.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to all ICU nurses. I don't know how you do it. Definitely felt the ribs cracked. Grossed me out. Almost gagged.
How many rounds did you do?
3.
3 rounds.
Maybe 4.
You were tired, I'm quite sure. That shit...
Listen, I hadn't even had coffee yet, y'all. Seriously.
Pumping on somebody's chest 30 times, that's...
Thank God I had taken a Vyvanse.
I was going to say, did you lose count?
100% I did. Thank God there's other people doing that.
That is so funny.
So basically I saved someone's life. Not a big deal. It is OT month. Don't forget that.
See, and this is why you're in OT month.
This is why I'm in OT month. What else happened? I'll tell you what happened. This was a pleasant surprise. I just need y'all to know the devil works hard. My mother works insanely harder. We had a massage therapist.
Yeah.
And he was, I didn't like massages for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom found this guy and we liked him a lot. We were going to him pretty consistently. Up and vanished from our massage place.
Oh no.
Extremely rude. Didn't tell anybody where he was going, which I guess you can't.
Yeah, you technically can.
Well, supposedly he couldn't because of the company he was with. They were like, you cannot tell anyone where you're going. You can't like poach
How would they
clients.
know?
They could
have text you on the side. Yeah.
So he just like up and vanished. We didn't know where he went. It was so sad. My back has been all jacked, whatever. She calls me on Friday. She's like, I found him. I just had a massage with him. And I was like, yes.
Cool beans.
So, and he just he's like booked 3 weeks out. He'd happened to have availability Saturday morning. Your girl got a massage, got my nails done, got my coochie waxed. It's like spring cleaning up in here.
Okay.
I'm a new person.
Awesome.
I feel great.
I did get my eyebrows done from your lady this week.
She is a gem.
And she hit me literally a brow gem.
She is a brow gem. I love her. I'm obsessed.
She legit I left after work and went to my appointment, and then I was falling asleep because I was tired, of course. And all of a sudden she hit me with them cucumbers on my eyes, and I was like,
she hit you with that little massage with the oil.
Yes, it was amazing.
Did she have music playing or a show on?
I don't even remember because I was asleep.
Mm-hmm. So we've gone through it, her and I.
I was probably snoring too.
She used to have this chair, and my back would always go out, my feet would fall asleep. Then she got hip to like the new shit she's got, and the little stool that your feet. And my lumbar is support, and I almost every time, especially if I'm getting my brows laminated, that's like an hour and a half. I'm
not clean out.
If it's after work, I'm not.
I mean, you can't see my brows now just because my glasses.
But they look good.
Well, thank you.
She gets your shit looking right.
She does. I had never had, and you go to like the chop shops or whatever, like the regular salons and stuff, and you get your eyebrows done. But she definitely like took her time. Like she was plucking, and I was like,
experience.
Damn, I didn't think my eyebrows were that bad because I had just got them waxed when I went to Florida, or whatever, a couple of weeks ago. But they're tame because remember the lady, she cut off by mistake, whatever. She cut off my tail of my eyelash. Don't be trying to zoom in and look at it. But anyway,
wait.
not my eyelash, my eyebrow.
How did she cut off your eyelash?
Sorry, no.
That was not a mistake.
My eyebrow, you won't get close to my eyelashes. Hell no.
She I don't even know if I want to say what her name is because I can't
don't say it. Don't say it.
If you really want to know, you can message me.
Yeah.
I may tell you, I may not. She, every time she's doing my eyebrows.
You can barely get an appointment now.
I know, I'm telling you. God, I've been with her for like a couple years and I'm still like, girl.
Right, exactly.
You better put me in. I'm like, girl, there's no hair left. What are you plucking? You've been plucking for like 30 minutes. But she like every individual hair. She goes through. And like once you have someone take, 45 minutes, an hour to do your brows, you're like, I can't go back to the other people who just like.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like because my eyebrows are, they have a natural arch. I don't really have to get my eyebrows done as much. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not going to go every month because I don't need that.
The way she does it too, it grows out so nice.
Yeah.
You probably don't have to go every month.
Yeah, no. Because, I mean, my eyebrows are already thick. So, and I don't wear makeup like that, so.
I see her for fellowship at this point. We just got to do our monthly
She
check-in.
did offer me snacks, but I was like.
She has snacks.
She does.
She is a full service. I love her. Would die for her.
That's a bit extreme. But
Rosa,
okay.
you know Rosa, the, like TikTok Rosa?
No.
The guy who does his lashes all jacked all the time?
Come
on. TikTok. Oh, God.
No.
Well, anyway,
okay.
He's a famous TikTok personality. He gets his eyebrows done with her, too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she's famous.
So he lives in San Antonio?
He's from San Antonio, yeah.
Oh, cool beans. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you ready to get on into it or anything else we need to talk about?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else crazy happened to me this week. No, that's it.
Okay.
Whoa,
it's like,
what happened to you?
Bust my lip. Jesus. All right, we got to get into it. This week it's been a lot of interesting stuff that's been going on in the news. And it's stuff that we got to talk about. A lot of stuff is socially conscious, but we're going to try our best to make it funny.
You know us,
if
the
we
socially
can.
conscious podcast.
Listen, we are a political podcast at this point.
A PP.
I mean, why go to CNN when you can come here to get your news?
Amen,
but anyway,
sister.
So this week, I don't know if y'all saw, I hope y'all did, these Tennessee House of Representatives that got expelled from the House in Tennessee specifically. And the three people, they're called the Tennessee Three. I don't know. I'm just naming them that. Anyway,
10-3. Haha.
Okay. So there was a Democratic Representative Gloria Johnson. There was also Representative Justin Jones, as well as Representative Justin Pearson. And so Gloria Johnson obviously is a white woman, a white Democrat, and her colleagues, Mr. Pearson and Mr. Jones, they got expelled because they basically were protesting. You remember the shooting that just happened, the mass shooting that just happened
Couldn't forget it.
in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And so there were kids, like college students as well as high school students. They were protesting, at the House floor or at the Capitol in Tennessee, protesting the gun ban because allegedly the Smith & Wesson, which is the gun brand, their headquarters is actually coming to Tennessee, allegedly.
Really?
So anytime you want to solve an issue, always follow the money. We already know that from, mainstream TV. Anyway, so basically they got expelled because they joined in on the protest. And so they felt like their behavior was, unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest controversy was, number one, how do you expel people from the House just like that when Marjorie Taylor Greene is still there? But also, two, the fact that these two black men were expelled and Gloria Johnson, who's a white, representative, she was not expelled. And so, of course, they interviewed her and she displayed what allyship should look like. And she basically said, well, let's see. I'm a white woman here in America and they are two black men. So that's probably why I didn't get expelled and they did.
It walks like a duck and it talks like a duck.
Exactly. And so she's gone on some interviews and stuff like that. But I just think it's insane how they're just like, well, what qualifies you to speak about this? And they're like, first of all, the people in this district qualify me because they voted me in here. Like, I don't know what the fuck you think this is.
Also, I'm just a member of this community, so I can talk about it.
Exactly. And I think, these people that are protesting against gun violence, I think unfortunately, going to your government officials, I know this is going to sound really crazy, it's not going to work because they're too far in the NRA's pockets. Y'all
need to start to the streets.
Y'all need to start going to the NRA headquarters and a lot of these other places, blocking they shit because exposing them, blowing up their spots, not blowing up anything like explosives. I'm not talking about that.
She's talking
like a euphemism.
Colloquially.
Exactly. So it's just insane that, you could just quickly make a decision to just expel somebody who's been voted in by the people, but just because you didn't like the fact that they protested something that you're probably lobbying against and getting a shit ton of money, you just decide, well, no, we don't want you to do it.
Did you see the video going around on the app that's about to be ripped right out of our hands? But it's this guy who studied neuroscience forever.
About TikTok?
Yeah, that would be the one. And he was saying, which I'm trying very hard these days to take everything I consume with a grain of salt because people can just go on and be like, saying
Absolutely.
wild shit. But he was an older white man, so had doctor in front of his name or something. I just trusted it. Anyway.
I hate you so much.
He was just saying how his nephew was getting not in trouble at school, but the teacher was having a conference with his parents because he was having these very violent thoughts and he was drawing violent pictures. And so they were like, we don't know what to do. So he went to, because I guess he had been studying kind of neuroscience a lot, and so it was his sister. And so he had asked his nephew, like, is anyone hurting you at school? Is anyone touching you? Are you, is anyone bullying you? Like, what's going on? He was like, no, I'm just angry. I have all these angry feelings. And they were like, what is going on? And he was like, traditionally, like, meds, therapy, maybe isolation, that's what we would have done. They scanned his brain and he had this huge mass in his frontal lobe, left frontal lobe, which is emotion,
your personality center.
Yeah. And he was just saying how he's seeing this, they neurosurgery drained it, all these symptoms cleared up, and he was just saying how he's seeing more and more of these kind of anomalies happening. I was like, interesting to think, if that has anything to do with, I just feel like there's so much shit happening recently.
Well, I mean, do you think it has anything to do with the amount of information that we're consuming, whether it be fake, real, fantasy, reality, that people are developing these anomalies because there's so much more content that's being looked at every single day, every single minute of the day.
Yeah, I feel like
our brains are not designed for that.
It's a real time. We're living in real time. We have no idea how all of these things are affecting, especially kids' brains. I think if you commit a horrendous crime, we're allowed to your brain. We should be able to scan it and run tests on it and do all these things because what the hell's going on?
I mean, but then you're going to open up a can of worms of everybody should be scanned then.
Yes.
I mean, that's not realistic.
Talk about a longitudinal study. Wouldn't that
Jesus.
be? What if, you had to get to be enrolled in public school, you had to have a comprehensive body exam every year at the start of the year. Lab, blood draws and complete scans. How interesting.
I think that's classist.
Okay. If you're in the public school system, that's everybody.
Yeah, but you create a system where it's mandatory to send your child to school or else you get put in jail for child abuse and neglect. And then you just, in order for your child to come to school, you have to do this. We already got to get our kids vaccinated.
I'm not saying to be in the school. I'm just saying that was something it was just a part of the school.
Like a physical.
But the physical included, Can you imagine, like, unless your child has a PET scan, they can't come to class? No.
My child is getting too much radiation.
Too much radiation. Yeah, no.
As they're using a microwave every day.
I think with AI, we'll start to see it. But I just thought it was interesting. I've never thought, like, oh, these kids are being so violent because maybe their brain anatomy is different or there's something wrong neurologically.
Oh, I definitely think that there's a link. There has to be a link.
To be.
Because, I mean, if you look at, remember there was a particular study that was done years ago when Grand Theft Auto first came out and some of these other like video games where people were killing and shooting and stuff like that, and it was like a rise of like violence among teens who are watching these videos and stuff, and they were just like, you know, art depicts life, and if these kids are getting these AR-15s and they're in a game, they're gonna want to now get it in their hands, and you know, I do think that there is a correlation between your behavior and what you're watching. Absolutely. Because I remember even when Set It Off, this was years ago, Set It Off first came out, the movie with Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, Vivica Fox, and Kimberly Elise. When that movie first came out, I think it was like a few months after it came out, a group of 4 white girls went and robbed the bank. And they tried to blame the movie and say, well, we saw it on Set It Off. And I'm like, bitch, but you had autonomy. Like you can make decisions you had capacity to make decisions for yourself, and you knew robbing the bank was wrong. Because 3 of the 4 of them got killed in the movie. So, bitch, you knew it was wrong. Like, what the fuck? So,
well, yeah, people do TikTok dances in public now like nothing, and no one thinks anything about it.
True.
10 years ago, everyone would have been like, what the hell are these people doing?
Exactly. I think we just have too much too fast, and I think people can't keep up. Because, I mean, we talk about this all the time off air, how, you know, we give our opinion about certain things that have happened, but by the time it comes out on our show, it's like 2 weeks ago that it happened.
Well, no,
we're like, but you're going to listen to our opinion because our opinion is amazing. But people are like, something happens at 12 o'clock noon, and already at 12:02, people are already reporting on
think
it.
Pieces.
Exactly. And people can take you down rabbit holes, and you're just like, can we just take a minute? Also, too, let me just say this. This is completely off topic. For those influencers who do not have 9-to-5s, anybody, I don't care if you're famous, you're an actor, actress, singer, songwriter, whatever the hell. If you do not have a 9-to-5 job, stop going live at 10 o'clock in the morning. A lot of us have jobs from 9 to 5. I just come on in. I'm waiting for some more people to get in. Bitch, I'm on the clock. I cannot, as much as I would love to delve into your life to see what the hell you talking about and to make announcements about further announcements that's going to come 3 weeks and a month down the road. Please stop, for the love of all things that are pure. Stop going live at 11 o'clock a.m. I ain't even on lunch break yet. Jeez. Anyway, neither here nor there, but back to what we were saying.
But yeah, I'm going to be honest.
You forgot where we were.
Something about... well, here's the thing about news. I've been scrolling right past it. So did I see this? Yes. Did I take the time to investigate? Absolutely not.
What are you talking about? The Tennessee House of Representatives thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, giving CPR to dying people.
I mean, I just renewed my CPR, but that's about it. Thankfully, I didn't have to use it. But I just think it's insane, and I think this is an indication of times to come and the times that we are in, which we are going backwards. Let's just be clear about it. And they are trying to erase, progressive thinking, and it's unfortunate. So, but again, I keep saying, if you keep trying to create this universe where you are at the top of the food chain, you're only going to create more monsters at the bottom, and there are going to be way more monsters at the bottom than powerful people at the top, and it's going to come to your front door at some point in time. So
that was good.
Well, I mean, it's the truth.
I saw that apocalyptic shit you watch.
I love apocalypse stuff.
I know, you're ready.
Well, I'll tell you who else some shit has come to his front door. Clarence Thomas coon ass. Okay, so y'all know I do not like Clarence Thomas. There's a lot of us.
Your favorite guy?
No, he's a prime example of all skin folk ain't kin folk. So recently in the news, he has been allegedly found to have delved into some corruptive behavior, right?
Surprise.
Apparently and allegedly, he has secretly accepted some luxury trips from a major GOP donor, which, if you didn't know, that's illegal, because you're basically buying votes from a Supreme Court justice. And, if you're at the highest court and you literally can make any decision that you want to, and the fact that you are accepting bribery, which is basically what it is.
You can't schmooze the decision makers.
You can't. You really can't.
Skews their decisions.
Exactly.
I do know that about that.
But a lot of stuff that he did anyway was very questionable. Like, I mean, just self-hate. I swear. It's
I just need everyone to also know that, like, our version of luxury is not this version of luxury. This is like luxe, like things we couldn't even fathom.
Who is we? You speaking French over here. You speaking English. You.
Okay, what's your idea of luxury?
Being left the hell alone.
Okay, so I think this might have had a little bit of that. So.
Well, I mean, luxury trips to me is like private jet over to another country and being waited on hand and foot. I don't have to lift the thing, not even my, luggage, being able to eat only the finest of the food, drink the finest of the wine, have massages, whatever, every single day, just only be invited to exclusive places where even the public who lives there are not invited to.
And yes, I just can't, I would assume that they just knew about this loophole forever, like trips were things that didn't have to be technically, I guess, put on the books when someone's giving you a trip. They should definitely be, but I'm just like, damn. How had no one been like, hey, maybe you should be reporting that?
Well, no, I mean, the thing is, black people in this country have always known that Clarence Thomas was a piece of shit. I mean, we can even go back to the Anita Hill situation, okay? But we always knew he was a piece of shit. The problem is, again, when you have this big machine that's behind you, when you're pushing an agenda, Clarence Thomas is nothing but another Herschel Walker. You are the puppet, and to be put on this bench like, oh, he's a progressive black man. No, he's not. He's literally a white man trapped in a black man's body. That's all it really is.
Hate to see it.
And I bet his dick is small. Anyway, we'll
take bets on
that. That was unnecessary, but whatever.
Leave your opinion in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. But I just think that, I mean, we all know that a lot of them can be bought. That's literally what politics is. Who has the fattest pockets? And this is why the people, you have people like Gary Chambers and, Andrew Gillum who traditionally they raise the money, but they have a much harder, even Stacey Abrams has a much harder time raising funds.
Honest money,
exactly. Versus these people like, well, hey, if you push my product forward, I'll make sure I donate millions of dollars to your campaign. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't limit gun rights.
Exactly. Because we're building a new Smith & Wesson headquarters, allegedly, in Tennessee. So, yeah, it's straight bullshit. But, yeah. Anyway, speaking of some people who we canceled, what were you telling me about Daniel Caesar?
My old friend Daniel Caesar. If you guys remember, maybe you don't, he was canceled, 2019?
Yeah.
When he jumped on and he started defending, what's her name? Oh, God. 5, 6, 7, 8. Who was saying racist comments?
Candace Owens.
No. Yes, but no. Okay, give me a second.
Tommy Lauren.
Yes, but no. Who got engaged? Oh, it's Megan.
Ma'am. We're in the middle of a show right now.
Know, sorry. Cut that out.
Maybe.
Why can't I remember this bitch's name?
I mean, does it matter for the story?
No.
Not really.
He went in 2019, he went on live and was defending this bitch and just saying, why are y'all being so mean to white people right now? What was going on in 2019? Do you remember?
It was a lot.
A lot. I would say maybe Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
A lot of weird shit. And so everyone was just very turned off by that. And they were like, why? Like, what was the point of you going on and saying all these things? And he was like, I don't care if y'all cancel me. You can cancel me. So guess what everyone did?
Canceled him.
Went ahead and canceled him. Now he's doing his apology tour. He was on in an interview this week saying, taking everything back and how he misspoke and spoke out of turn, how he apologized. Comment-wise, it doesn't seem like anyone's buying it.
Here's the thing about Daniel Caesar. Amazing singer, right? I don't care that you're an amazing singer. You're a piece of trash. And I do think that people in life have the opportunity and the ability to be forgiven. But I think it's all in what have you done to make amends, right?
Prove
that you are actually sorry and that your actions haven't proved anything different. Here's also another part of the puzzle with Daniel Caesar. I personally feel like black people specifically from the UK and Africans some Africans and some people from the UK, some black people from the UK, not everybody, but I feel like there's been this divide that has happened. Like we all have the same enemy, right? And we know who the enemy is. For some reason, we just can't get out of this mode of redirecting that energy to the enemy. However, I feel like there is this negative connotation that black Black Brits and Africans have toward African Americans when we talk about racism, and the fact that they completely undermine what we go through in this country or have gone through in this country, and the system that has been created to continuously keep Black people down. Now, the fact that they don't acknowledge the racism that happens in this country because it doesn't happen to them, to me is completely disrespectful. Just in the same sense, if I were to go over to Rwanda and I were to say, well, I mean, what's the big deal with the Hutu and the Tutsi? Like, y'all were just Black people fighting against each other. Like, no, that was a whole ass genocide. So you can't negate the racism, because that was racism as well too. That was classism, and again, it came from the same enemy that we all have, which is white supremacy. And I think the fact that this man sat here and was just like, I double dog dare you, and then we said challenge accepted. Now you all of a sudden, because the radio, your people are not coming to see you in concerts, or your money is now being affected. Now you want to apologize. Well, what have you done in the African American community specifically to make us feel like you have atoned for the comments that you made? Like, have you done anything? Have you volunteered anywhere?
Not to my knowledge.
Have you given any give to some HBCUs? That I'll listen to your music again.
We do have an HBCU. It was Yes Jules. That's who it was. And it's
I don't even know who that
because
is.
she went on Twitter and was like, "Can I wear a shirt with a racial slur?" Dumb shit that anyone would
Like,
have been
you know,
that
you know
better.
can't do that
and
shit.
His response, he says that he was, not sober. Goes on Facebook Live.
Oh,
and
please.
was like, "Why are we being so mean to white
Come
people?"
on.
Which, like, I would say, don't get on social media if you're not sober.
That he was sober. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Oh, you're switching it up mid-episode?
I am, because it's hurt my ears. That's the same way the guy who talking about when he called the Black girls basketball team, all these nappy-headed niggers, and he's like, oh, my diabetes. Like, it's not the same, dude. Like, I don't care how you were sober. Stop with that bullshit. You were fucking sober. Like, stop. But I mean, I just think that, again, we as Black people, we gotta, like, I don't care what your nationality is. I really don't. I don't care what your nationality is. We all have the same enemy. So, like, and our enemy does not need help further oppressing us. Like, legit. And some people can say, well, you're oppressing him right now because you're not supporting his music. No, I still listen to his music. I'm just not gonna tell you. I'm just saying. That's just like R. Kelly. I still listen to R. Kelly's music. I still watch the Cosby Show. You personally, based off, I don't even care if it's my opinion. I can be contradictory to my own opinion. You are not going to convince me to stop listening or delving into the art of these people based off their behaviors. I denounce their behaviors.
You can separate the artist from
yes,
the art.
I can. And I'm still going to listen and watch.
I can't, but that's okay.
I'm not going to buy tickets to come and see you, and I'm going to stream your music real late.
By myself.
Maybe off Wi-Fi. I'm just saying.
Use the data.
Or I'll download it illegally. Allegedly. Ask somebody to burn me a CD. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think Daniel Caesar is the perfect example of how you fucked around and found out.
Yep.
You fucked around and found out. Real quick. I'll tell you who else is about to fuck up and who fucked up and is about to find out. The United States of America. Wait, did you have an opinion about Daniel Caesar?
Listen, do I still listen
I feel
to
like
Daniel
I just
Caesar?
moved on. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I apologize.
What I am here for is the accountability.
Yeah.
He basically was like, I fucked up and I set these things into motion and this is why this has happened. Right? But I do agree, like, what? Okay. Yeah.
You're sorry.
You said sorry and you're sorry
what are you
because
sorry
you're not making
for?
any money anymore.
Exactly.
But you can move right on.
Them dusty ass braids he got. Anyway, neither here nor there.
But why was he? I want to know statistically how many people used his music as wedding songs from 2019 to 2021. I feel like every wedding video I saw had a fucking Daniel Caesar song in it.
I'm gonna just tell you the one song that I'm obsessed with right now that I cannot get off repeat. Freudian.
Huh.
There's this one particular part where the people are like, it's just
That was beautiful.
It's beautiful. But anyway, yeah, I mean, his song with Brandy was great. He had a song with her.
I love that.
Beautiful song. But I'm just like, I don't care that you had a beautiful song, dude. Like, you offended me.
You know who also made beautiful music?
Who?
The devil.
Okay. Are you equating Daniel Caesar with the devil?
I would never do that.
I mean,
I would get canceled
for a little minute. I think he did.
And if anyone plays this back, I'm not sober.
You got diabetes. All right. Well, I'll tell you who else is fucking up and finding out, and that's the United States of America.
Jill Biden. Oh, no,
not that yet. the dollar. So the United States, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And I'm not going to blame Joe Biden because I don't think it's Joe Biden specifically. I think that there's a combination of different things that have happened that
I'll blame him. It's Joe Biden.
The thing is, no, he's not. He's
the president.
He is the president, but I think it's just his timing is horrible. He's an old man that we put into
He's got
office.
the JW situation.
He does, and it's not going well for him.
Ooh, tough break for this term.
Maybe he should have been from Texas. I don't know, because Joey W had a little bit more balls.
We did, and we stood by him.
Y'all stood by George?
We stood by him, I think.
Oh, we in Florida was talking about y'all like some shit. But I mean, we fucked up the elections anyway. But the thing is, the U.S. dollar, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, is suffering. And it's suffering even more now because China, Russia, Africa, and a couple of other countries have been like, they all had this one picture banding together. Mm-hmm. Fuck the U.S. dollar. And I was like,
sanctions where?
I was like, Lord, what are we going to do? What's going to happen?
The U.S. got a little too big in their britches, and China said, we'll fix that real quick. Everyone switch over here.
Can we just print more money?
To these Chinese. Oh, that's the fucking problem.
Because my thing is, what currency are they going to use now? Are they going to just default to their own currency?
They're all switching to the Chinese. It's not, I don't think it's the yen. It's something else. They're all switching to China's, from what I understand, they're all switching to China's money because the U.S. is putting all these sanctions. We printed all this money, we sent it out, and then we put all these sanctions on it. Like, you can use it this way, you can't use it this way. Is it for like the trade and the barter system that they put sanctions on? Like the tariffs and all that kind of stuff? Sure.
Okay.
That's,
I thought it was a political podcast. Or,
this is where you
economics.
come for the hard-hitting news.
Absolutely.
And from what I understand, China was like, well, if you just switch to our money, we don't have any of those sanctions. You can use it however you want. Well, that's real fucked because if everyone stops using the U.S. dollar, switches to this Chinese money, our dollar is nothing. It's not everywhere. But my question is, trade. Didn't we just talk about this trade-wise, like currency? Like, do we just have to switch all? I don't know. Switch all.
I mean, anytime you go to another country anyway, you have to use like you don't have to. Are we
going to be like hella taxed, or the rate's going to be screwed?
Yeah. So like if you like let's say the yen. 1 yen, which what we used to think is equivalent to $1, would maybe be equal to only 75 cents or 50 cents of our money. So which means we're going to have more money in order to travel over there and buy shit, which means we're going to go into more of a deficit because we're already $1 trillion in deficit.
Yeah, but I think if they all switch, not like globally, if the countries aren't using the U.S. dollar,
it's going to crash our.
It's going to crash our. It's going to collapse our.
But
economy.
it's not going to happen. I'm gonna just tell you why. History has already shown the way they did Gaddafi. It's not going to happen. That's all I'm saying. Because he tried to back the African dollar with minerals, and he got because it would have fucked with the U.S. dollar first. Now, I think it's a little bit different because if you fuck with China, you're going into
China
World War III.
Russia right now.
Exactly. You're going to go into World War III. So he may be in a bit of a pickle.
What happened to the Bitcoin?
No, ain't nobody talking about that because even the Cash App, the guy who created
the guy from Cash App just got murdered.
Yeah, he got stabbed allegedly.
That's suspicious.
But apparently he no longer owns Cash App. He created it, sold it, got his money, and got the fuck out.
He wasn't supposed to know.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like to live in this little fantasy world where I don't worry about that because to me, I'm like, if the whole country's screwed, it's not just me. Surely someone's going to fix it.
Listen, here's the thing. If the dollar does crash, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You ain't getting the student loan payment.
Okay, when I heard this, the first thing I thought was like, oh, y'all really aren't coming for these payments now. The dollar doesn't mean shit.
The dollar doesn't mean... Cancel it all, Joe. Bernie asked you to cancel it years ago, and you decided not to. And now your dollar is worth nothing. You got to cancel all that shit.
This is all karma because you won't initiate mass student loan forgiveness.
That's what I'm saying. And you keep giving money to Ukraine. Let's see if Ukraine come and help us out now. I bet you they won't. I mean, they can't. They're at war. But I'm just saying. And I'm not trying to be facetious when I say that. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
We're giving out too much money. And your money's about to be shit. So they ain't going to have nothing anyway. So, yeah.
I can't wait.
Well, speaking of Joe Biden, his partner in crime, his wife, Jill, she fucked around and found out this week as well, too. So, as y'all know, last week, the LSU Lady Tigers, they won the NCAA championship for women's basketball.
Yay!
Yes. The captain of the team is Angel Reese, and so they
whose cousin plays for UConn, who won for the men.
Absolutely, which I think is amazing.
Talk about strong familial genes.
Absolutely. So, as y'all know, when you win a championship, you win a Super Bowl, all that kind of stuff. Usually you take a trip to the White House. You're invited to the White House to, explore and just photo op and bullshit, right? Well, Jill Biden decided she wanted to open up her first lady trap as opposed to just staying quiet.
The fuck up out of it.
Exactly. And so she says, well, you know what I like to see? I would love to see both LSU and Iowa come to the White House.
She just hoped both teams would have fun.
Yeah, no, but
mind you, this is on the back of all this controversy that's been going on because of Angel Reese and just
the racism that's been attacked.
Yeah,
the racism that's been attacking
how she has been doing the same thing as her white counterparts on the opposite team, but she's been getting so much flack for being ghetto and having this bad attitude and being unsportsmanlike. Right. All of these things that I would say like the girl that she's been pitted against from the other team. They're compared a lot.
Not really. They just only been compared because...
No, in this situation.
Oh, in this situation, yeah. So she's been... Basically, her and Caitlin Clark is the captain of the Iowa ladies team, and Angel Reese is the captain of LSU. And so they've been competing... These young women...
Girl against girl.
But these women have been competing against each other since they were in high school. So they are great competitors. They both have only positive things to say about each other. It's the same way, Kobe and Shaq were on different teams.
You need a white and a black.
Well, no, I'm just saying as far as being competitive. Like when you play against somebody for a very long time.
Like in the game, you're talking shit and trash and all this stuff. And then when you get off the court, usually
you're friends.
For the most part, it's fine.
Exactly. And so they've been pitting these girls against each other, which is fine because it makes great competition and it brings in money as well as views and it fills the seats in these arenas for women's basketball.
Except for the press for Angel has been significantly negative.
Yes, absolutely. So they've been trying to, and it's all, again, we have the same common enemy. It all boils down to white supremacy and racism. Caitlin Clark literally told a little white girl from Louisville, shut up, you're down 15 points. And she did the you can't see me. We all know she did that. Then Angel Reese does it back to her. And all of a sudden she's classes and, well, you were already winning and that's sportsmanship. Again, I will say this. There is no way that you will ever have the opportunity to tell the winner how they should behave when they are winning. I don't give a damn if they called your mama a bald head scallywag, ain't got no hand in the back, jailed up, weaved up, your hair is fucked up. I'm going to say what I'm going to say if I'm winning. What?
Look at the scoreboard.
I
can say what the hell I want.
Exactly.
And when you're winning,
you can say whatever you want. Now, if I'm on dish it, I got to be able to take it. And I think Angel Reese has shown that she is a great sportsman because if you look back at the game that she did with that LSU did against South Carolina, where South Carolina basically blew them out of the water. Like her and Aaliyah Boston, people were just like, oh, let's see what Aaliyah Boston and Angel Reese do. And they literally are like friends. She's an amazing competitor. And Angel Reese wasn't doing all that talking. She shut the fuck up because she was losing. She was still being herself and trying to play, but they were just outplayed in that moment.
And that's just like how I feel like competitively athletic people behave.
Exactly.
For the most part.
Exactly.
So anyway, in the midst of all this, I don't know where the fuck Joe Biden got interviewed.
She just should have just shut the fuck up.
They were asking her kind of better. She's like, oh, they did so good. I would love to have both teams come. You don't do that because one team won and one team didn't. And also just like, I need you to have context. I need you to see that this is a predominantly African-American team. Iowa was a predominantly white team. You're saying that in the midst of all of this controversy, all of this conversation, this group of black girls wins, and you're like, but I'd love to have the white girls come too. I would just love to have those girls around as well.
Exactly.
I need you to read the room, Jill. You're a doctor.
And you're an educator. Like, what the fuck? I know you've seen this with kids before. These are grown women, but still.
As anyone else would do, Angel was like, I think the fuck not.
She was like, what a joke. And then she was like, we ain't coming, period. Then LSU releases a statement that was like, these bitches will be there. And then Angel comes back and does a press conference and she's just like, well, yeah, it's just the emotion of it all. I'll be there if my team's there. And I'm like, yeah, because you got a scholarship to maintain.
I would have talked the same kind of shit too.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going. We beat their asses. We worked hard. We're the first team to ever do it from LSU. And you're going to tell me that these girls get to come too? Hell no.
But the thing is too, I think people don't realize the stuff that basketball, like athletes in general, when you've been playing a sport all your life, there's a lot of adversity that you run into. And I think for Angel Reese specifically, this woman was at Maryland and she fractured her foot and could not play.
Crazy.
Then, and she was like, this phenom coming out of high school. And then you enter the portal, you land at LSU, and then you win a national title your first year. Like, I will be talking big shit too. Mm-hmm. You got Flage, who is a freshman. I'm going to say that again. Flage is a freshman. That's
insane, dude.
She's about to be dangerous. Man, they don't need to be humble. They don't need to be humble. When you're winning, you don't need to be humble.
The whole point of winning is to brag.
This idea that there's etiquette in sportsmanship and in winning. No, the fuck it's not. It's winners and losers. You're not a runner-up, bitch. You lost. You lost. Like, well, we're the runner-ups for the... No, you were the losers. Everybody lost if you didn't win. What did Ricky Bobby say? If you ain't first, you're last. I mean, what the fuck?
The only person who could have even said shit is Caitlin. And you know what she said when she was interviewed? She was like, no, I have nothing bad to say. Great player. We were just playing.
These girls, I'm quite sure these girls
they
are probably
played growing up their whole lives.
Probably in AAU tournaments and stuff like that. Like, you're used to having a specific competitor, especially when you're the same age.
And girls
there's nothing wrong with that.
Men talk trash, but girls say things that you're just like, God damn.
But they're supposed to get in your... That's all a part of being an athlete. You're supposed to get in the head of your opponent.
Yeah, but you're used to it.
Exactly. And you can get off the court and be like, hey, girl, you want to go get some chicken tenders and fries? Let's go.
It's a good post-game meal.
The best. That or pizza. Well, speaking of other athletics, okay, did you hear about Kansas? Lord, I need you to come on back because these people are weird. The people that you sent down here to represent you, I don't know. The people that you created, they're really weird. And they're doing
special.
Some crazy stuff. Well, Kansas, apparently, and there's a Kansas Republican that has successfully overridden the governor's veto to now authorize genital inspections of children in order for kids to play sports.
In what
allegedly
world does that sentence, sentence of a paragraph
statement? Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Sound not fucking awful.
Like pedophilic. It's just disgusting. So, okay, there's been a lot of talk because there's been a lot of stuff that has happened recently in sports, specifically with trans women. I really haven't heard anything going on with trans men. I don't think any way. Yeah, trans men. I have not heard of a single story of a trans man trying to play in the NBA or any other sport.
By that you mean like a at birth female transitioning to a male, or a transition that would like to play male sports.
Yes. It's only
been hard as shit.
Right. It seems like only the competition or the issues have been with trans women who are born biologically male who then transition to female. And so there's been a lot of controversy because there was this famous swimmer, I can't remember her name, but she came out and spoke out against the fact that now in professional swimming, they're allowing trans women to now swim with natural born women. And then even too, this past weekend, what was her name? She's a trans woman. I can't remember her name, but they're an MMA fighter, and she legit fractured the skull of her female opponent, who's a natural born woman. And people were just like, is this really like trans athleticism, or is this like domestic violence against women? Like this is fucking ridiculous. Like and then when they did at the end, when they did like this little speech or whatever, the trans woman was just like, yeah. How you like that? And I'm just like, bitch. Like,
see, this is where it gets sticky. I don't know.
Well, do you believe that trans athletes should have their own like league?
I do.
On every level, like high school and or secondary education as well as professionally?
I just say that because this is where it gets hard. I feel like when you're like men, statistically, scientifically, biologically, the way that their bodies grow, the hormones that they have, they usually have more muscle mass. They're stronger. They're larger. That's just not fucking fair to play sports with that. Yeah. If you're in a women's league and statistically all of these women are, and anyone can be different sizes and different weights and all of those things, but you're kind of operating in your own sphere here. And then let someone else in who has that biological advantage.
Yeah.
That's why there's 2 different leagues in the first place.
I agree. I mean, I think it's, and I'm not comparing the trans community to like Special Olympics, but Special Olympics has like,
I know it's going to be good.
or not, okay, let me not say Special Olympics, Paralympics.
Okay.
Like Paralympics.
I'll take a Paralympics.
Not special.
I'll take a Paralympics.
That was the wrong word. So Paralympics are people with disabilities who have, let's say, they have a BKA or a below the knee amputation or something like that, or they have a prosthetic arm or a prosthetic this or whatever, or they have or they're blind, things of that nature. They have different disabilities that affect them from being able to compete with people without disabilities or able-bodied people. Is that an ableist
That's
term?
Ableism. You're just saying, yeah, but you can't say
able-bodied. But I thought it was like
able-bodied. Yeah.
Because if it's ableism, like people without disability, persons without disability.
You don't want to say disabled. You would say able-bodied.
Able-bodied,
and people
right.
without disabilities. But does that make you feel like
that's
you're
what I'm saying?
disabled?
I don't. Just fucking terms, man. People without disabilities.
We're trying really hard.
Seriously,
to be inclusive.
like
this
good
is
night.
what it looks like in real time.
Right. So basically, like in the Olympics, you have people without disability who are competing, and I don't think that it's fair to then bring a person who has an amputation in to run the 100-meter dash when the people who are without disability have an obvious advantage over the person who has an amputation. And I think it's the same situation with the trans community. Like, you all need to have your own league, because to me, I just don't think that it is fair that you can just declare, you can wake up one day and say, well, I'm a woman, I want to compete at this level, and then you're beating the shit out of women.
Yeah.
Natural born women. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, I don't agree with that.
That is a tricky one.
I mean, I don't think it is. I think it's
I think it's tricky politically.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I think it's tricky. Like, obviously, and it's just, how many transgender women are going in to play men's sports?
That's right?
Trans men. Mm-hmm. That I feel like people would allow.
Yeah,
easier.
Socially, it's more accepted,
right, than the other way around.
Well, because I think the biggest thing too for a lot of people is that this idea of having trans women going from male to female, it's erasing natural born women, because women have always fought very hard for equality when it comes to the wage gap, when it comes to just even in women's sports. You have people who don't show up to WNBA games, but they will pay NBA players millions upon millions of dollars, right? Mm-hmm. Even the NCAA women's teams usually don't get coverage like this, like an Angel Reese and a Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston going at each other until it's March Madness, right? And so I think I've heard people say even too that it's coming to like an erasure of natural born women, where it's like we finally have a space for ourselves, and then here you go creeping in and now trying to overpower and dominate when that's not fair.
And that's probably tricky, because I would assume there wasn't a large enough population specifically for each sport to make
a team.
True. Like to have the transgender league. Mm-hmm. Huh, interesting. So who would you play? Like, and you would want to, sports are supposed to be inclusive. You want to include whoever. But that's why.
But who said that sports is supposed to be inclusive? Like what specifically, what type of inclusivity?
Well, that's true. That's why you make all these different leagues.
Exactly.
I would assume, I don't know the numbers, I would assume they don't have a big enough population
for representation.
For representation.
Yeah, but I don't think just because you don't have the numbers doesn't mean that you should now be allowed to come in and dominate and change the rules for this specific group. That's when there's true. Enough of them.
I just think about like high school sport. Like if you are a transgender person in high school, right? Going through all of this stuff, living your life how you feel you should look, whether that be like I was born female, I present like a male, I feel like I am a man, all of these things, and then having to play on the girls' team. Mm-hmm. Or if I was born a boy, but I feel like I am a woman, I dress like a woman, I, am effeminate, but I have to go play on the boys' team. Mm-hmm. Like, that has to be wild too. And I
wonder if, like, I won't ever try to assume what this Kansas, lawmaker is doing, but I wonder if this inspection, which to me it just seems like you're a fucking pedophile.
Inspection of genitals sounds so
That's disgusting.
creepy.
That's disgusting.
Like, you're telling me I have to bend over so you can check and make sure I have scoliosis, and then I have to pull down my pants so you can make sure I have a penis.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the part? Like, all people who are trans, all trans people do not get gender reassignment surgery. So and that's not a part of being trans. Just because if you are now if you transition into a woman but you still have a penis, like that doesn't mean that you have to automatically cut your penis off to declare yourself a trans woman. I bet you they're saying
things like, "Oh, you want to play on the boys' team? You have to prove you're a boy."
But if you're saying, and I get that too, but then you have lawmakers that are just like, "Well, we're banning gender reassignment surgery for children under 18."
So then everyone should be, I see
exactly. So it's kind of like a catch-22 either way. I just personally would not be. I don't want to be a lawmaker.
Let me tell you something about us. We will not be
lawmakers.
No.
And what I would hate for this to come back and we're all Congress.
Vote for me 2029.
We represent the 13th district of San Antonio, Texas. 2026.
They just replay every podcast.
Exactly. But I think I definitely think that they should have representation and have their own league.
I get it for professional sports. Totally get it. Like, I think it's an easier distinction for professional things. I'm just thinking, like, specifically high school, because I think it's a very hard time, and that's when a lot of people start transitioning and doing stuff like that. How shitty it would be to, like, all day, every day be this person represented in a way, but then you have to go out there and play with a bunch of whatever that are the opposite sex of you.
And I think, too, somebody even brought up the fact of, like, let's say, for example, girls basketball, and how you're trying to get a scholarship to go to college. Well, then you're going to be overlooked because this trans person or this trans woman is now, dominating everybody and scoring 100 points a game or whatever. I'm just throwing out some ridiculous random number. But I just feel like trans people should have representation within their community, just like women have representation, men have representation, Paralympics have representation, Special Olympics has representation, and I think that you should have your own representation.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with you, and it's not being separate, it's you having your own representation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not
That's that on that. We're not that on that. For a reason.
No, definitely not. Have you ever heard of, well, speaking of, totally off that, because, oh God, that's a horrible segue. People are going to think, oh, why did you say that? God damn.
Can't wait for the comments to roll in. Everyone, it's TikTok too. Y'all are mean on TikTok.
So, yeah. Okay, so have you ever heard of, I'm telling my age a little bit. Have you ever heard of Freaknik before?
Heard, yes. No.
Do you know what
quite
Freaknik
literally
is?
Anything about? No.
Okay, so Freaknik is basically like spring break back in the day. It started from like the 1990s.
I'm thinking of Beatnik.
What the fuck is that?
Beatnik, like Beatnik. Like Beatnik poetry.
No.
That's what I'm thinking of.
No. Okay, Freaknik was this whole like movement in the 90s, right? Where it was like this huge like week of events of spring break. Oh. And so they would go to Atlanta and people would just wow the fuck out, right? And then a lot of stuff started happening, shootings and stuff, and it just got kind of violent, so they moved it down to Miami.
Of course, because when things get too crazy, you know where we should take them? Miami.
So then...
I can already tell you this shit's not...
Right. So then they completely shut it all down. And they brought it back, I want to say in like 2018, 2019, something like that. But now Hulu is doing a documentary on Freaknik, and apparently they have all this unreleased footage of all of these people from Freaknik, like from the 1990s, right?
Damn.
And so you know how people would say, in my generation, we didn't record nothing that we did. Y'all put all y'all business on social media. I'm so glad half of my shit wasn't recorded. Well, now you have Gen X is shitting their pants because they're just like, God damn, whose mama's gonna be on these VHS tapes?
How great! And you probably don't even remember. Like, it's not like now where you can watch it on your phone or the video exists somewhere.
Yeah.
Damn.
You don't even know if you're gonna be on Hulu.
It's almost scarier to not have lived my life online.
It is, because you don't know who's taking pictures.
I don't remember. Yeah, you don't know anything.
Because even like my aunt Judy, shouts out to my aunt Judy. She's been like our family historian, right? Like I don't even remember half the time her taking pictures and videos, but she will post like in our family page, like pictures and videos and stuff like that. And we're just like, where was there a camera? So can you imagine you're in the time of your life, you're 19, 18, 20, God. You know, in Atlanta walking around with a thong on, drinking beer, and you got men all over you, and you telling your daughter, see, you need to stop doing this, and then Hulu comes and busts your shit. Like,
wow. No, I'd never heard of that.
Freaknik was a time. I never went to Freaknik, but there was like a popular episode on A Different World where Kimberly Reese and Freddie Brooks, they went to Freaknik, and Kimberly Reese's dad, who was a police officer, was coming in town, but she was like, "Bitch, I'm going to Freaknik. Like, I'm not about to sit here with you." And so they drove to Atlanta and went to Freaknik. And her dad found out.
Sounds like a time.
It was a time. I was too young to go to Freaknik, but yeah.
No, yeah, I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, it's coming out on Hulu. I'm not sure when, but
we'll have to watch.
Gen X is real nervous.
I bet people, because gosh, what a time! What a time! You
could wild out and no one
knew. Yeah,
if nobody had, if you didn't see a camera, it didn't happen. Technically, you know. But anything else you can talk about before we go into what we're watching?
No.
What have you been watching?
I just finished a show on Apple TV, which, listen. Apple TV recently for me has been like, it's hitting. All the shows are giving me what they need. The movies too. Apple's pouring money into that, I will tell you. I just watched Blackbird, which is a series about this young drug dealer from Chicago in the 90s. He gets caught, put away into prison. They pull him out. They're like, hey, we're going to send you to this maximum security prison because we need a confession from this serial killer. We need to figure out where he put the bodies of these girls. If you can get a confession and you can get him to tell us where these bodies are, we'll like exonerate you. And so it is so, I binged it. I haven't binged something in so long. Couldn't stop watching it. I'm back on my serial killer bullshit. So
I was going to say, have you ever got off? But okay.
No. So just binged that. I saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Ooh.
Mostly because that tall, light-skinned dude from Bridgerton was in it, and I was like, I could watch him.
He's so gorgeous
all day.
He's so pretty.
Man, he is just pretty.
He's pretty.
Pretty
He's a
dude.
Pretty man. Yeah.
And I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. First of all,
except for
everything I learned from
Stranger Things,
Erica and Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But his character was just like, it was from what I understand, the perfect representation of whatever his Dungeons and Dragons character was. If you know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, but you just like fantasy and comedy, I would go see this movie. It was the people who did you see Game Night?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same directors. So that same brand of comedy where it's like that witty, just like
slapstick,
snappy, kind of, it's just like that. Like the script is very good. The comedy was great. Chris Pine does the Chris Pine shit where you just want to watch him because he's charismatic and carries the whole thing. Michelle Rodriguez is in it doing the same shit she did in Fast and Furious.
She's just a badass all the way
Just
around.
Renaissance times.
Yeah.
It was actually, I had low expectations for it because I was like, this is probably gonna be so shitty, but it was actually really good. And I chuckled a lot.
Is it a kids movie or not really?
No, I think it's like Marvel-y.
Okay.
And it does, I think if you like Dungeons and Dragons, there's probably like a bunch of Easter eggs and shit in it that you would like. And if you don't know anything about it, you can still watch it. It wasn't a lot of like backstory or like you don't need to know the world to understand it.
Okay.
But it was really good.
I saw the preview. It looks really good. I want to go see it. I still need to see Creed though.
Oh,
Creed 3.
That one was one.
Or 4 or 5, whichever one.
People are still talking about how they didn't see Creed because of their relationship. Michael B. Jordan and
people are just stupid. Like, I like the world better when we couldn't hear everybody else's
opinions. I liked it too.
I think we need to go back to not being able to see or read people's opinions about things. Like Lizzo, shouts out to Lizzo. Lizzo came up with a brilliant idea. She said, you know, she wishes that people had to pay in order to comment on people's posts. And I think we need to do that. You literally have to pay money in order to post some stupid shit.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't even care if you just post, oh my God, you're the best. Girl. You got to pay.
Yeah. Put up or shut up.
Put up or fucking shut up.
Yeah, but those are the two things I've been watching. Highly recommend. What have you been watching?
So I watched this new series. I finished it. It's called Emergency NYC, and it's about a few different, like 4 or 5 different hospitals in New York City, obviously, and it's on Netflix. And they basically go following some of the staff in the ER and kind of what happens during COVID, after COVID. Yeah, I mean, but you saw a lot of different things that came in. They followed around like the ambulance team, the transport team. They had a few neurosurgeons on there. They had trauma surgeons, ER physicians as well too. And it was just, a kind of fun, like nice documentary that showed a lot of stuff. Apparently, New York they use like air flight for a lot more simple things than we do in other states, just because the traffic is so bad.
Interesting.
So they legit have to go and pick you up. But I can only imagine the crazy like medical bills that come from that.
Can you imagine how strong those first responders have to be? Everyone lives in a walk up.
Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly. So it's it's insane, but it was really good. I also saw Monique, comedian Monique, her special that came out on Netflix on April the 4th. If y'all haven't seen it, you need to go and see it. It's so good. The thing is with that particular special, there was a lot of controversy with Monique getting her special from Netflix. As we know, in the beginning, they allegedly lowballed her and only offered her, I think it was like either $50,000 or $500,000 or something like that. Anyway, and she got a lawsuit for racial discrimination.
Because Amy Schumer and a bunch of other white comedians had just been offered insane amounts of money.
Absolutely, like double-digit millions of dollars to do specials and whatnot. Not only that, black men like Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle were offered this, like $50 million to do, a lot of their specials and stuff like that. And the terms and conditions of the contract that they initially offered her was very low, especially with Monique having the resume that she has. I mean, an amazing actress, amazing comedian, had her own talk show. Like, she brings in numbers. Like, let's be clear. But anyway,
I forgot about the talk show.
Oh yeah, she had the talk show on BET for some years.
Damn.
And I think the thing is about Monique, first of all, I think people forget she is a comedian first.
Yeah.
And that's how we all grew to know and love her, is because she was a comedian. And in I would say like the first 30 minutes of the first 20 minutes of the special, I was looking for more jokes. Like, where is the funny?
Yeah.
But what I had to learn was that, what I had to realize is that Monique is in her 50s. And so, you know how Dave Chappelle, when he first came out, and not comparing the two, but just giving an example, when Dave Chappelle first came out, he was with the hard-hitting jokes all the time, right? Yeah. But then as you grow and mature, the same shit that you joked and played about as a 20-year-old, you're not going to be doing that shit as a 50-something-year-old.
You also don't have to, because you have the audience now.
Exactly. And so I felt like Monique's special was really the setup for her to be able to come and do 2, 3, and 4 sets after that, or 3, more specials.
Yeah.
Because she really brought you in to really understand who she is. She started from the very beginning, where she was born and raised, and different stories and stuff like that. And so it was kind of funny because she was very serious in the conversations that she was talking. And then as soon as she would get emotional, she would say some wild shit, and it would be fucking hilarious. Oh. And you're just like, you are crazy. And then people too started, like, there was a particular, like, different things that were going viral about the actual show itself. And I think we as consumers of material, we have to mature. As the artist matures, as their work matures, we have to mature just the same. Like, you can't expect Beyonce to recreate Crazy in Love like
be like,
at her
grow
age
up.
and 4. Exactly. She was in her 20s when she made it. That girl is now married with 3 ass children. Like, she can't be crazy in love. At some point, she has to be mature in her love and do something different. Even like K. Michelle. K. Michelle, now wants to do a country album, and she has always expressed that she loves country music. And people are like, we don't want to hear that shit. We want to hear that darkness. And she's like, well, bitch, I'm healed from certain things, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Even with, for example, Mary J. Blige. I've heard people on, different podcasts or just even different posts that says, I like Mary J. Blige's music better when she's hurt and depressed.
Okay.
Like, you're a piece of shit. Like, I mean, Mary went from, I'm not gonna cry, to, I'm just living my life. And y'all just like, you're too happy, we don't like your music.
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to grow and evolve as the supporters of these people who are also growing and evolving. But I thought it was a really good special.
Most fan bases are also growing.
Yeah.
So not everyone wants to hear whatever she was talking about
exactly.
when she was 20,
Like, if you're as a comedian are still talking about pussy jokes at 50 years old,
like,
something's wrong with you. I don't care, male or female.
This is why Drake is giving everyone the ick right now, because he's still doing shit he did
exactly
15 years ago, and everyone's like, ugh,
right.
Grow the fuck up.
I need you to grow up. Like, we all pick at rappers who are people who pick up rap when they're 40 years old. And it's just like, yeah, we don't want to hear the same stuff, but I think people need to stop playing in Monique's face because number one, Monique is a funny ass person. Number one. Number two, she's an amazing actress. And I think her range is insane. The fact that this woman can go from Welcome Back Home, Roscoe Jenkins to fucking Precious to now this new movie where she's playing they do the seance or whatever.
I still hate her sometimes when I think about Precious.
Oh, she played that role.
She played the shit out of that role. Put her whole foot in it.
She deserved that Oscar, that Golden Globe. She deserved it all. Like,
she made me hate her. She was an awful person in that movie.
But you know how like there's that role defining character like. For Jamie Foxx, it was like Ray. Yeah, that was his defining. Like Angela Bassett was Tina Turner. Fucking Monique, goddamn Precious Mama. Shit,
she was that's awful.
But that's how you know she played a role.
I was telling her off air that a bunch of those clips, because when anybody goes viral for anything, everyone starts pulling all their old shit. Well, there's all these clips of Monique from Charm School that are cycling right now. Oh my God.
How old were you when that came out?
I don't know, but I just remember being very small, and it was like when Rock of Love and Flavor of Love, Charm School, all of that was out, and I thought it was hilarious.
I think I was in college when that shit came out.
It was like quality television, and that show was, God, she was so good.
Yeah, that incident with Safari, she was taking all their names, and she's like, sister, that name represented something negative. That is an
ugly name.
Tell me what your real name is. She's like, Safari. And she's like, I never got a nickname.
Really? I never got a nickname. Oh,
and she still took the name tag off and was like, and Monique was just like, I can't even say shit.
That was 2007 was the first season. I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, I was in college. So yeah.
God, that was quality television.
It really was. But yeah, I mean, the special was really good, but I pray that she gets a part 2, 3, and 4 because I really feel like this special created the groundwork for people to understand who she is and where she's coming from. And she kind of addressed the Netflix thing without really addressing it. And she was talking about, she just said, people were telling her, she's like, people would love to say, oh, you're no Amy Schumer and you're no Dave Chappelle. And she's like, you're absolutely right. Because my name is fucking Monique, bitch. Like, I'm not any of these people.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
I feel like a lot of comedians are doing that now. Because even the Gerard Carmichael special where he was just, like, talking to the crowd about coming out and about, and he was still joking a little bit. But it was really just, like, him being vulnerable and venting to the crowd,
Because I think, too, like, comedians, their job ultimately is to make us laugh as the audience and move us. And I know that they always say that it's a part of their therapy. Like they get to tell their stories and heal from it. But I also think too, as they grow and evolve, sometimes they need us to vent to as well too. They need the audience.
Or sometimes they're like, I can't make this joke anymore because it doesn't hit where I am. Like I've moved on in my life, and to go back and keep talking about it, it's not going to serve me. So we got to all move on together.
Absolutely. And so I think we're moving into this era of more conscious comedy.
We love to hear it.
Well, but I think we have no choice but to, unfortunately, because this newer generation is very sensitive, and the things that we could get away with saying and doing, they don't tolerate that now, and then they'll be quick to cancel you for any little thing. And the thing is, when you're canceled, it's not just somebody saying, well, I don't want to support you anymore. It's company businesses that are pulling their money from you, and it's affecting your livelihood. And I think that's why a lot of the conscious comedy shows or comedy acts are now being into play versus, the hard hitting stuff that we're used to.
Do you think people are more sensitive because as a society we're just more sensitive, or because everyone, especially if you're younger now, you've grown up with the ability to be exposed to a larger group of people different from you, so you can understand what offends other people, and you're just like hyper sensitive to that?
No.
Or everyone's just a little bitch baby?
I think everyone's just a little bitch baby. I think it's a bit of all of those things that you said. But I think the biggest part is that when I was growing up, I couldn't hear or see your opinion about specific topics. And now that I can, I feel the need to tell you it's either wrong or I don't like it and I want to push my opinion onto you versus just letting you be. And I think that's the problem. So I think people are more hypersensitive. The younger generation is hypersensitive because, to be fair to them, this society, social media, has given them too much too fast, and they're choking on it. versus with me, when I grew up in the 80s, we were able to get a little something, digest it, savor it, and then move on to the next thing. Even if you look at technology, every year the iPhone and Samsung is coming out with a different product. Before, when I first got a cell phone, everybody had a Nokia. You just got 50 different versions of a fucking Nokia, okay? But then you had to wait 2 or 3 years for the next version of that to come out.
Man.
Yeah, you had to, it wasn't an every year kind of thing. You were just like, ooh, this comes out, and they only had a certain amount. So if you didn't get it, you just didn't get it. You know what I mean? Unless you bought it used or secondhand. Versus now, everything is at these kids' fingertips. And again, when you build a society that gives too much too fast, you're choking on it. It's just like a baby where the nipple, the nipple that you're giving them, the hole is too big, and they're choking on all this milk. The hole
is too big.
I'm just talking about the nipple of the bottle, not the actual like nipple, the breast tissue. But yeah, I think that's what it is. What do you think?
I think that for a long time, a large group of people in society felt like they weren't heard, or they weren't able to express themselves, or they weren't represented, and that society was against them. They became people who were in charge of things and could influence society, and made society have to take a look at, hey, we exist. We're going to be more sensitive and aware of these things. I think it trickled down to younger people. I think younger people now are exposed to more groups of people saying, hey, that offends me. This is offensive. This is why this isn't okay. But now also the defense, like everyone knows, it's kind of like how when I was growing up was the time when everyone was like, oh, we're not going to say the R word anymore. Anyone who says it, you're not cool. That's not cool. That's something bad. We're not going to do. It was like this large turnover where like the people older than us were like, we don't care. Like that's not something that's offensive to us, whatever. But for people my age and younger, it was like, do not say that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like being super sensitive to anything is now. Like we're just going to go ahead and err on the side of that's wrong. We're going to err on the side of that's inappropriate. That was rude. It was hateful. You have to be canceled, just so people don't get mad at us for saying the wrong thing. Yeah.
But I think too, kind of piggybacking off what you said, the hypersensitivity wouldn't be so bad if context was a part of the conversation.
Oh, no context. We don't need context.
Exactly. And that's why this hypersensitive generation now, or the way that our society is, sucks to some people so bad because they don't insert context. If I say the R word to you and we're just having casual conversation, I'm like, oh my God, you are such a R word, right? I'm not demeaning a group of people. It's a term that I've been used to using, like you said, from the 80s that makes sense to me, right? But then when you're not putting things in, even like when Whoopi Goldberg made this controversial statement, which I didn't think was controversial at all. I'm not denying that it hurt a group of people. What I'm saying is that for me as a black woman in America, her saying the comments about Jewish people, to me, it didn't register that it was offensive because I'm a black woman in America. I'm not Jewish.
Yeah.
So obviously it wouldn't affect me the same way it affects Jewish people. But when you took context out of that and you're just like, oh, she should be canceled, she should lose everything. And it's like, whoa, she's making a distinction. She's not saying the Holocaust didn't happen. She's not saying go and kill all Jewish people. She's not saying that. She was making just a delineation between two groups of people, and that was it. And people just ran with it versus looking at the context of the conversation. Even, for example, the lady who just recently, I think she got fired. I think she did get fired, where she says on air, for shizzle my nizzle.
Oh, yeah. When she was talking, it was the weather lady.
Right. And I was just like, ma'am. Now, do I believe that she probably doesn't need to be on air for a little bit? Yes, I do. Do I believe she should lose her job? Absolutely not. I mean,
it's not like she said the hard R.
Right. And also, too, she probably just thought it was cool because in context, they were talking about Snoop Dogg, who was known to izzle every kind of word, right? Now, does she need some cultural diversity training?
Yes,
absolutely.
100%.
But I don't think she should lose her house and her cars and her kids because she said for shizzle my nizzle. Now, Don Imus, you deserve to lose everything for calling them girls nappy-headed hoes. So fuck you. Because there was no context was included in that. The dude who talking about, he called them effing N-words, talking about his diabetes. You deserve to lose everything because you knew what the hell you were doing. You just called him a hot mic. But I think, again, in this generation, in this day and time, there's nothing wrong with being hypersensitive if you include the equation of context. And that's the problem why people keep canceling everybody, because they're not taking things into consideration with context.
You heard it here.
See, we're kind of deep a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes. Just don't ask us about the political climate.
Don't ask us where countries are. We don't know.
Oh, geography?
No.
Geometry? Also not a good one.
No, trigonometry, none of that crap. That's not what we do. Oh, don't ask us how to do math either or spell. Anyway.
Just don't ask anything unless it's pop culture related.
Exactly. Anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
No.
Y'all have a great week on purpose. It's going to be an amazing week. I can feel it in my bones.
Oh, in your bones, eh?
I'm going to say it until I feel it.
Hey, you gotta fake it till you make it.
Exactly. Well, y'all have a great week on purpose. Y'all remember to spread love,
spread light,
and don't forget to laugh your face off.
I gotta get the hell up out of here.
Yes, you did. Did you guys enjoy this episode? If so, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, including
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at the Face Off Pod. New episodes are released every Tuesday.
Thanks for watching.